Only a decade ago, a lot of people did not use the internet, they did not know what kind of benefits he can provide, but can you imagine life without him today? Can you imagine a life in which any information is not available only by clicking the button? Simply, the internet is now included in all the spheres of our lives. It can be said that we are completely dependent on it, and then what would happen to disappear? Is that possible? Who actually owns it? And perhaps the more important question is, if someone has the power to shut him off completely, can you imagine how it would be without the internet? If we leave social networks that many consider as synonyms of the internet, we understand that we perform various activities through it. They increasingly conduct online purchasing transactions, maintain communications and various business meetings. When the internet disappears, there would be a global collapse of communications, banking, the economy and all those systems that depend on it. But firstly, to figure out who owns the internet, there are two answers to this question. Nobody and a large number of people. How to? If you look at the internet as a whole, then no one owns it. There are organizations that determine its structure or how it works, but they do not have ownership over it. On the other hand, many people's organizations are in possession. It consists of many parts, each of which has its own owner. Some of them can control the quality and level of accessibility. They may not possess it as a whole but certainly affect it. We view the internet as something abstract, something that is not material, something intangible, but the truth is that it completely depends on its material basis. It relies on a large network of routers and computer systems. Satellites participate in its traffic, but 99% of world traffic carries over fiber optic cables, which, like the nervous system, cross the bottom of the sea and the ocean. A physical network that allows flow is its backbone, and it is made up of corporations that enable routers and cables through its network, and corporations are called internet providers, and anyone who wants to have access has to work with them. Finally, we ourselves can be considered internet owners. Do you own devices connected via it? This means that this device has become part of a large global network, and we are only one of its small parts. But how does the internet work? Who is responsible for doing everything right? The internet works thanks to a system of rules, called protocols. Following these protocols, computers send information across the network to other computers. When the protocols would not exist, they could not be understood and the information sent would not reach its destination. But as the internet develops, the protocols are developing as well, and that's why there are organizations that deal with them, and who are responsible for everything in order. So is it then that someone has the power to shut down the internet? The United States, in which the internet is created, has certain powers to exclude the internet to certain countries through some of its agencies and institutions that control its particular centralized parts. However, those countries that could be targets of such cyber attacks already have their own beliefs of the internet, which would be included if they were thrown out of the global network. It is clear that there is no person or organization capable of completely shutting down or destroying the internet, and so he returned everything to many years back, at a time when we were not connected to each other, in this way, when we could not see the distant things of our world. However, where such a possibility exists, fear is very real. Don't forget, leave like and subscribe.